Hey guys, this is Benny Lou from New Media Rockstars. I'm here today with the CEO and and founder of Karmaloop, Greg Selkoe. Greg, how are you doing today?
Don't change. How you doing?
Good, good, good. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get right to it. Karmaloop TV is aimed at what you call the Verge culture. What is the Verge culture?
So Verge culture is really, oh, is my foot in the way? You can see me okay, right?
Yeah, I can see you. It's
Verge
fine.
culture is the first generation to grow up on the internet. They're basically multiracial, multi-ethnic, global. It's a group of people that defines themselves less by labels and more by shared ideas and values. We look at this group as a group that's like the influencers, the people who make or break trends, who have the most fashion forward, have just the most disposable income, or at least the most willingness to spend it, have the newest, coolest stuff, and they're basically Karmaloop's customers and viewers.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. If it's to my understanding that I think the Karmaloop TV that used to actually be a television channel that was supposed to come off the ground, but it never did. Why is that?
Well, I mean, if you've noticed, there hasn't been a lot of new TV channels lately. I think the main thing is that TV itself is just in terms of, it's not going away tomorrow, but it's kind of a stale and shrinking industry. So you're not seeing any. I mean, Oprah tried to launch a new TV channel, and it didn't do that well. Pharrell and I were working on this project for 3 years. So and now it's another year later. So 4 years ago, TV was in a very different place than it is now. And the fact is that, we were working with the cable industry, and the cable industry was like, look, we'll give you the tools and freedom to do something really groundbreaking. And by the way, you can do a lot of stuff online too. So it'd be like a mixture of on and offline. But the fact is they said that, but when push came to shove and we actually started working with them, they couldn't get out of their old school mentality. So we just decided it wasn't worth it. We pulled the plug, and now we've been doing a lot of other stuff, as you can tell. We put all our focus online.
Right, right, right. So you're definitely like a big supporter of like the whole new media movement and this influx of like online video platforms that are out there at the moment. Like that's something that you
Yeah, I
really
mean, it's
believe in.
basically like, the dawning of a new era, and all it's going to take is one major channel like an HBO to say, what the fuck do I need cable for? I'm going to just go direct to the consumer, meaning you can just get it on the TV. You can stream it on the TV or on your iPad without having a cable subscription, because now you can do that, but you need to go through a cable provider. As soon as they do that, they're going to break the chokehold of the cable industry on this, and then everyone will go direct. In reality, what do any of these channels need TV for?
Mm.
What do they need the cable companies for? It's just how it's always been done, but it's not going to last that much longer.
Right. Well, there was actually an interview that was done with Time Warner CEO, and he kind of like belittled like the new media industry in a sense. So I guess the direct question that he was asked was, do you think that these companies like Netflix and YouTube are they a big are they big competitors to Time Warner? And then he kind of said, well, just to put everything into perspective, like you have YouTube boasting about investing $100 million into their channel. Well, just to let you know, we spent $5 billion last year alone in producing content. So welcome, kind of.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think what I would say to this, what else is he going to say? He's being on the defensive. I would say this: cable's not even close to dead right now, and there's still millions and millions and millions of households with cable in them. But the fact is that it's one of those things where it doesn't. It's like Moore's law. It's going to continue to rapidly increase, and at one point, it's going to hit the tipping point, and all of a sudden, the cable group is going to see their subscriptions plummet. Right now, their subscribers are definitely going down, but the rate's going to continue to increase as there's better and better offerings online. So yeah, in the short run, he's right, but everything starts someplace, and you know how many times the radio said the same thing about TV, TV said the same thing about cable's saying the same thing about the internet. Well, the fact is that they're on the wrong side of history if they think that they can continue the same model that they do now and have it last forever. Because what is a cable operator? A cable operator is someone that aggregates content and says, hey, it's vetted. This is good content you guys are going to want to watch. You pay us a subscription and we deliver it to your house. In theory, all those people who are delivering content now could deliver that same content to the TV over the internet. The problem is it's not well packaged yet. There's still issues with streaming. There's some technology lag. But the fact is, we're talking 2-3 years before you can get the exact same quality and experience. And so someone else is going to come along, as just like Netflix is doing with Arrested Development, and start developing content people want to see as much as they want to see HBO. HBO is fucking awesome, and they make great content, better than anyone on or offline. If HBO went direct, and I'm sure they want to at some point, but they have contracts that last 4, 5, 6 years with these cable operators. Takes one guy to it's like, it's anything when you see, like, you even look at like the Arab Spring and what happened. At first everyone's like, oh, no one can Gaddafi's the dictator, no one's ever going to leave him. One guy leaves. I say, it's crazy, it's just one guy. Then two of his guys defect. Third guy comes to the United States, then the head of the armed forces. Holy shit, that's a big blow. Then all of a sudden you lose half the country. Then you lose 2/3 of the country. And all of a sudden this guy who was invincible 2 years ago is, being fucking beaten to death in the desert, right? So it's going to be the same. I'm not calling the cable industry dictators, but there's definitely some similarities, not necessarily the violence, but certainly the way they dominate and control everything. And at some point, it's just going to take one person, then the next, and then everyone's going to say, fuck you, what do we need you for?
Right.
Because the thing is, right now, the advantage that they have, the cable industries have, is that on the internet, there's so much choice, right? There's so much choice, so there's not enough critical mass behind 1 or 2 shows. You need to get a couple really big hit shows that have the equivalent of like a prime time, like The Office or 30 Rock, where you have a whole demographic of people watch it, and they watch it online and it's not on. And I think Arrested Development's one that could be like that, right? Where it becomes a TV show that people talk about at work and stuff, that millions and millions and millions of the same people watch. It's a half hour long. It's not, because right now what YouTube mostly is, they may have a huge amount of viewers, but it's mostly like people's cats and people falling downstairs and, some of these upstart, like the Hall Girls reviewing product and stuff. There's not a real traditional TV kind of model with like a half-hour entertainment show, comedy, sitcom, things like that. And those models still work, but as more and more of those things come around, and as some of the people who create them now say, why do we need to go through a middleman and pay them all this money? It will eventually happen. And I think you have people like MySpace are going to try and launch this TV platform. That's going to be, the other problem has been the compatibility of getting it into the flat screen, the large flat screen TV. That's changing. Every new model that comes out makes it more and more internet compatible. So that's the other advantage cable had. Even though it's still, the internet is like, sensory overloaded. As they figure out ways to repackage it in more bite size and understand, I think what Apple TV has done is great. I think there's going to be some need for also to have, linear programming too, where it's like you can watch things on demand, but people do like to be like, hey, what's on right now? And I think that, one of the things that Karmaloop's doing is, like, we experimented with this. We did Cybercam Monday. I don't know if you saw what we did, but we basically had a live stream for 24 hours on Cyber Monday where we had like Cybercam girls, and we had like, it was basically like a parody of like sex cams, but we gave away, like, instead of, being about just girls taking off their clothes, we were giving away tons of like gift certificates and doing contests and all this stuff. People really liked the live aspect, or the fact that it was like a thing you tuned into to see what happened. And we're doing it again this Monday. So we're doing the Freakathon this Monday. We have people like Bun B and Chavi McCoy. We're doing a live, 14-hour broadcast where we're going to do it's like almost like a variety show where we're giving away gift certificates and just doing crazy shit. And it'll be, it'll be over the top again. But I mean, we had a massive success with that.
Awesome. That's great. That was a hell of an answer, by the way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, well,
I
great.
haven't had my afternoon coffee yet.
Well, all right, great. Yeah, you pretty much answered most of the questions I have for content online versus traditional. So, yeah, I'd like to move on to talking about when you first started Karmaloop. And so, when you were building Karmaloop out of your parents' basement, did you envision it as the massive success that it has become now, or were your dreams quite modest at the time?
Well, I mean, I think the uh, I didn't envision what it would be to this extent, but I mean, I always looked at it as sort of a media property. And first of all, my first business plans at Karmaloop's more than a retailer. We're a community of style. We're a full-fledged media property. And so I always looked at the internet as media, right? So you can sell clothes, but you can also tell stories around the clothes. And particularly the type of clothing we sell, there's so much to it. The celebrities, the skaters, the DJs, the other people, the designers, what the brands mean, the cultural references, all that shit. So it made a ton of sense. So I always wanted it to be something more than just, like you just put the stuff up and it's like a catalog and it sells. I'm the type of person who always tries to go big when I do stuff. I don't try to do. I'm not all. I'm not, I always want more. I always want to push the envelope more. So the answer is I didn't know what it would become, but I certainly wasn't trying to do something small. Like I was trying to do something big and groundbreaking. And I think we've done a lot of things that are groundbreaking. With the fact that we've made this media commerce and content hybrid. You go to KarmaloopTV.com right now. We have these gift guides, which are clickable TV so that there's product in the videos and you can click and buy on it. And that's been talked about for so long, but we actually do it and it's effective. It works. People are buying stuff through video. And it's not just video like, hey, show the product. It's entertainment. Oh, but by the way, you can buy shit while you're watching.
Wow, I love it. Okay, cool. You're relatively transparent when it comes to your public opinions and everything. So, for example, you supported Obama publicly in the last election. Do you ever worry that your political stances would hurt your business at all?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't worry about it. I know that that's a concern, and I have investors and other people. They're not always that comfortable, but they invested in me, so they know what they signed up. And I think the thing that's made Karmaloop successful is our authenticity, and I have my personal cell phone number on the website. That's my real number. People can really call me, and I have it very clear. If someone calls me and like, hey, I want to sell you this software or sell you my clothing brand, I don't respond because that's not what's there. But if they want to talk to me if they're customers or they just want to talk about things, they have ideas. I talk to people all the time. Every day I talk to people, just call me up. So yeah, we try to be very transparent. The fortunate thing is that the demographic that we're selling clothing to, 18 to 35-year-olds with our sweet spot 18 to 25, overwhelmingly supported Obama anyways in the election. So we got some complaints from parents and stuff. And we had some people like, why are you doing this? Like, why don't you just stay neutral and stuff? And I was like, no one's neutral. Every business in America, and most of them are supporting the Republicans, is involved. They just don't have the balls to just say the truth. But they're funneling millions of dollars to the Republican candidates. I don't have that kind of money. So I did what I could to help by just saying this is what I believe. And I got in some heated debates with people on Twitter, and I said, look, if you don't want to buy from us anymore because of my political opinion, I respect that. I don't want that to be the case. I hope you stay, but I'm not going to hide how I believe. And hopefully we don't have to be like everyone in Washington, D.C., where they disagree and they want to fucking stab each other in the eye. It's like, look, everyone in their family has some people who have different political opinions. I have Republicans in my family. I know it's hard to believe, not many, but distant relatives. But the fact is that it doesn't have to get to the point where like the Tea Party or the Occupy movement where you're so polarized that you can't like anything or have anything to do with someone else because they have a different political opinion. And I think when I hit people up and who were kind of bitching at me, and I had a real discussion and gave my opinions, I said, look, I respect your opinion, but I disagree. A lot of them were like, all right, cool, I forgive you, kind of thing.
Right. You mentioned that you said you had your cell phone number on the website. How many calls do you get a day, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, it depends. I mean, many of the emails that we send out, we have a 2.5 million person email list. My cell phone number's in that too. When I write a personal letter, my cell phone's at the bottom of it. I would say I get anywhere from 2 to 20 calls a day.
That's actually that's quite modest actually for the amount of uh, for like how transparent it is, like how like it's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, you know, I think it's more that people appreciate and know that they can get in touch with me. I mean, a lot of the calls are like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Hello," and they're like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Yes, can I help you?" Like, "Oh, I just want to see if this is your real number." Bye, and hang up. So a lot of times it's just people testing out to see if it's real. I mean, that's like a 50% of them. And then but I mean, I chat with people and dude, I have right now I can barely move my hands because I text so much with customers. I mean, a lot of people are hitting me up with like, oh, this is an issue. Not basic customer service, but they'll be like, hey, I think it's in general you should do this or that. But I think that's one of the reasons why we've been successful is I actually engage with our audience and know and can hear what they think and what they think we should be doing.
Right, right, right. That's crazy. And you answer all of them like yourself. You don't have like an assistant or anything. Like every single one text is sent.
Yeah, I answer myself. No one else has my phone.
Right.
Uh, there's a lot of people I don't answer though because it's very clear that I made it very clear that if you're like, hey, I want to sell my brand in Karmaloop, what do I hook me up or give me a gift code or a lot of people are like, I'm from so and so software company and I know you said not to call, but my product is so good that and so that's not the purpose of they can call the right people. And sometimes especially with the clothing brands, I'll just pass them on to the right person. But I'm here for the customers. That's what I'm supposed to. That's what my customers and people who want to talk about improving the site or give me feedback. That's what it's there for. So the people who pitch me on solicit me on business stuff, they just don't hear from me. I don't always pick it up. A lot of times I'll let it go to voicemail and then I'll listen to it and get back. But I mean, certainly I'll pick up my phone too when a customer calls many times.
Okay. Great. I was, speaking of which, Karmaloop is obviously a very successful like internet business, and you've definitely succeeded in building that. And so, what would you say are the components for anyone that's trying to build a successful internet business themselves, whether as an artist or as a business trying to sell a product or what have you?
I would say that first of all, have a good idea. One of the things that I see when I see a lot of good and original ideas, when I see people who pitch me on clothing brands or new brands, they look like someone else's brand. So one brand pioneers something, and then they all copy it. New brand comes on pioneer. So I think you need to have something that's original, that's different. That's the first thing. The second thing is you have to have unshakable belief in your idea, right? If you have any doubt, if you have any doubt in it, then obviously there's the natural like I doubt myself every day or I'm nervous or whatever. But if at the core you could be worried, that doesn't mean you're not like just cruising like, oh, I know. But you got to really believe you can make something work. And if you do, then you got to be ready to hear a lot of bad things said. I mean, people say terrible things on the internet about me, about the company, about stuff that's total nonsense. Most of the time it's a competitor or whatever. But you got to just have a thick skin. You got to be able to, know that you can handle criticism or people say, I don't want to invest in your idea sucks or it's not going to, it's the nature of the game and you can't get discouraged because I had so many people some literally and mostly figuratively basically slam the door in my face like, dude, shit's never going to work. Basically laugh in your face. So if you can't handle that, don't try because you got to be willing to be able to pick yourself up over and over again. So I mean, I think the thing you have something great, and then you're not willing to quit. You're not willing to take no for an answer.
Awesome, I love it. Your street team is like great marketing. I mean, like how many? I think you guys have. I don't even know how many reps you have. Like almost
40,000 reps.
Yeah, you guys have a ton of reps. I mean, what do you think makes it so successful?
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that like when if I'm speaking at conferences and stuff like that is like. We get a lot of people like, oh, I want to create I read about your rep team and New York Times or whatever. We want to create the same thing. And then I'm like, what do you sell? Like, oh, we sell like, toothpaste or something like that. And I'm like, look, I mean, try it if you can, but toothpaste doesn't really get people that excited or motivated. So the fact is the rep program only works with people like us, and there's not a huge amount of people with us, because the kids who rep us are people who live and breathe the culture every day. And it's more than just about the clothing. It's about who they are as a person, expressing themselves, and being into a culture, being into a fashion and whatever. And so they want to be part of Karmaloop and the Karmaloop family. So that's why it works. So I don't think that, there's a lot of people who, I don't think you get the same passion if it was Walmart,
Right, right, right. Do you see yourself like branching out and like how long do you see yourself doing Karmaloop right now? Like, do you have any other passions in terms of like starting other businesses or ventures in the long run?
I mean, I hope I can, I was thinking about that the other day, like yesterday. I was actually like walking to work, and it's fucking really stressful right now because it's Christmas and we have big numbers we need to hit. And I was like, I just hope this never ends though, because it's just, I'll be sad to not be doing Carmel, because it's so much fun, and like it's a lot of work. People don't understand. Like we had a meeting in this very room this morning. We're all yelling at each other. No, this, lively debates. Everyone loves each other, and it's a great team. It's like come to work where there's dogs everywhere. There's a lot of like young people who are passionate. It's just a great thing. So I don't want to. I don't see myself doing anything now. I mean, yeah, will I ever do something else? Probably. I think the next thing I do would be something to do with like nonprofit type stuff.
Okay, yeah, and I'm gonna touch on your nonprofit at the end of this thing. But for back to Karmaloop, do you ever plan to open another physical retail storefront for it?
Not in the physical storefront was fun. We lost money every year. It was like a zoo. We had a lot of parties and events, and it was good for our image, but we weren't running it like a business. So I don't have any plans in the short run, but if I partnered up with someone who knew what they were doing, because I certainly don't know what I'm doing when it comes to bricks and mortar retail, my expertise is here online. I would consider it, but no, it's not. It's not. Definitely, there's nothing in the works right now.
Okay. What are your thoughts on your company possibly going public next year?
I mean, we'll see what happens. There's been a lot of pressure on us to go public, which is a good thing, which means that, in fact, we've gotten even calls from one of the stock exchanges. I won't say which one. It was like, hey, we want you to go public. We think it'll be a great offering on our exchange. We just think the brand's sexy and that's good. So, I think the possibility of going public is the coolest thing about it would be that all our customers would get to own a piece of the company. To me, that's cool. But I think we don't have any. We're not like preparing right now to go public. It takes a year to prepare, so we haven't started doing anything like that. So who knows what will happen? We may take on like a new investor that can help us do some stuff, but I don't know. We don't have to do anything because the company's doing great privately. But we'll look at anything.
Okay, right on. So my last question is, about your nonprofit ventures. So you just launched a nonprofit, the Future Boston Alliance. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So, Karmaloop's here in Boston. Boston's not necessarily traditionally been a hotbed of fashion, that's for sure. But there's a lot of cool things going on here. I mean, there's Wayfair, Rue La La, Karmaloop. Then there's a ton of tech startups, a ton of different, entrepreneurial businesses and stuff. And we obviously have tons of kids who come here for college. And so the concept was that, like, look, I have 250 employees in Boston. We also have an office in New York with 35 people, but most of everything happens here. And like, there's a lot of like things about Boston that are still very old fashioned in terms of like, it's hard to get food late at night. Taxis are like a pain in the ass. We don't have enough taxis. The subway system shuts down at fucking 12:30, which is the earliest in the country. Where are you guys?
We're in Los Angeles.
Well, you don't care about subways there. Although you're starting to put some in, which is cool, I think.
Yeah.
Downtown LA is definitely popping up, but I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, your bar's close at 2, our bar's close at 2, so it's not really about. But then there's a lot more to it. There's tons of fucking red tape when you try to open a new place, so you don't get enough new, vibrant places. And our whole thesis behind it is like, look, if you want Boston to be the startup hub, which they talk about in City Hall, you can't have a city that's not attractive to young, hip, entrepreneurial types or people that might work at Karmaloop. So, but plus we want to have a better art scene and support culture and support, different club nights and stuff. So make it more, just a more fun city that I want to live in. So instead of complaining like everyone did, I said, let's start an organization. So we started something called the Future Boston Alliance. And it's been like super successful. We've gotten thousands of people. It obviously hit a nerve. The mayor hates our guts because we're the only people who've have enough balls to criticize him and say, look, part of the problem is with him, and he doesn't get that nightlife or young people's issues is a major economic development thing. And instead of listening to us, of course, Boston is an interesting place. We've had the same mayor since I was in high school.
Wow.
So, and there's no term limits. The guy and very few people vote in the local elections. And he's created a thing where he really punishes any business that speaks out against it. If it's a restaurant or whatever, he can't really do anything to us because we're online. So it gives us a unique position, and I've been very vocal. It would be smarter for him just to listen, but he didn't. And in fact, there was tons and tons of press where we were going back and forth in the press. And it was pretty cool that we were elevated to the point where we were getting equal voice, where, we had lots of people come up to our events. We do a weekly club, like a weekly night at a bar where we have, we pair an artist with a startup business and Future Boston Alliance, and we just have a night with different local DJs and shit. We've been getting a lot of accolades. We've been using new media. We made a really funny video. I don't know if you saw the video. On YouTube, which has gotten, I think it's like 30,000 views at this point, where we just talk about the issues. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out.
Okay, definitely.
YouTube, we can just search Future Boston Alliance, and then we'll come up.
Do you know what's the YouTube channel name?
So we don't have a channel per se. I think it's on, but we have, because we only have a few YouTube videos. So
yeah.
Most of it, if you go to futureboston.com. That's where the video's hosted there too. We just use YouTube as a player, but if you can find it on its own on YouTube as well. But futureboston.com is our website.
Okay,
awesome. It has a video. It has all sorts of information on the nonprofit.
Okay, great. Do you have any last words or anything that you want to say, or any exciting things happening with Karmaloop in the next few months that you want to reveal?
Well, I mean, I don't know when this is airing, but obviously watch Monday on Karmaloop. We're going live. It's going to be madness. We'll be giving away products. There'll be entertainment. Bun B, Travis McCoy, a bunch of different celebrities are coming on to host. We're going to be doing more live events. Karmaloop TV. We're continuing to expand there. We're going to be hopefully launching a regular series called Girl Hatton, which is an original sitcom-like production that we shot. That'll be launching in 2013. So I mean, we've got a ton of stuff going on. The site continues to grow. We have Karmaloop, we have Plunder.com, which is our off-price site, plndr.com. We have Brick Harbor, which is our skate site. We have Miss KL, which is our women's site, misskl.com. And then we have Boylston Trading, which is like our little bit higher-end men's site. So we got a ton of stuff coming up. We appreciate the support from everyone. We'll keep pushing the envelope and doing things differently.
Cool. Well, thank you for speaking with me today, and I wish you the best of luck with everything, and congratulations on all your success.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right.